In the backdrop of the Minoan Empire, its bellows crack across the sky and the heavens. Its once pure white fur now better reflects its horrid disposition. While lacking decent intellect, brute strength well makes up for it. Inside its walls, any unfortunate victim can only scream in vain. Paralleling its life, their fates were long sealed. Neither fully man nor beast. This is certain. The Minotaur of Crete is the people's ungodly retribution. Hello Internet, I'm Future Mystica and I want to talk about the Minotaur. Myths have always interested me, and in the past week I've been in a Minotaur headspace. And somewhere along the line came this idea for MythoSketch. Because I always wanted to be an art YouTuber and I didn't know how to stand out, so this is my attempt at standing out. While the speed draw goes on, let's dive on in. So let me set the scene. A big Greek island called Crete was a successful empire in the past, so basically a really long time ago. And the king of Crete at the time, named Asterius, or Asterion, potato potato, I'm just gonna go with Asterius, had three stepsons, Minos, Sharpedon, and Rhadamanthus. I'm sorry if I butchered those names, but only Minos is the important one, so forget about the other two. His wife and the queen birthed all of them, and for Minos, the baby daddy is Zeus, because of course it's Zeus. He's everywhere. But that's not really important either. Fast forward for a while, and King Asterius dies. Sad face. But plus side, the throne is now open. But there's a catch. Since none of the children were biologically his, none of them have the right to ascend to be king. And Minos was not gonna have it. So what's the most logical thing to do? Well, he made a deal with Poseidon, of course. Minos promised that if he became king, he would sacrifice a bull for him. And somehow these terms were favorable enough that Poseidon accepted. Thus, from the sea came a majestic white bull. And seeing it as a divine judgment, the people were like, sure. And Minos became the next king of Crete. While Poseidon held up his end of the deal, Minos was like, I changed my mind. Why? Because apparently the bull was too beautiful to be slaughtered. So he didn't. And since it's always a great idea to backstab the gods, Poseidon got pissed. In Greek fashion, the punishment never actually falls to the perpetrator, but someone they know. So Poseidon decided to curse Minos' wife, whose name I'm now gonna butcher, Pasiphae. I'm just gonna say Passy for short, to fall in love with the bull. I guess you can say it's a quirky punishment. Definitely unique, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, this crush became too much that she asked Daedalus, a great craftsman of this era, to basically create cow cosplay. And the end result was what I would describe a kinky twist on the Trojan horse. So basically he made a wooden cow that Passy could hide in, and there's like a hole in the back. So you know, if you know, you know. You don't know, then why the hell are you here? Go to your parents. Watch Cocomelon or something. Anyways, so Passy disguised herself with this cosplay, and since the bull is a bull and it's just an animal, he was, and it happened. Bestiality happened. Very fun. And once the fun was over, defying biology and science as we know it, Passy got pregnant and skipped what I assume is 9 months. They never really say how long she was pregnant for. the queen gave birth to a healthy baby boy calf. Surprisingly, she didn't throw her baby out of the window, upon seeing its bullish face. But she kept it, and the name she bestowed upon her baby, I guess, was his grandfather's name, Asterius, which I guess is sweet. And King Minos, I assume, was not thrilled. Stereotypical father in a movie or just in real life. But anyway, they took care of Asterius instead of killing him on sight. So jokes on Poseidon is not really a punishment. But eventually, from my research, it says that Asterius, the Minotaur, grew up to be too uncontrollable and monstrous for some reason. He got hit hard by puberty, or whatever he's going through. He's a unique case. So King Minos got Daedalus to build the iconic labyrinth. And once done, Asterius was basically just chucked into the middle of it. And yeah, you would think that would be the end of the story. I mean, if the labyrinth is inescapable, just leave him there for a few years, maybe, and let Asterius starve to death. Not really an ethical way to do it, but considering... Anyway, I digress, but due to some dumb events that followed, King Minos threatened Athens, and as an apology, Athens was now obligated to send 14 young men and women as sacrifice to Asterius, now widely known as the infamous Minotaur. To digress again, it's kind of telling, like, the older people screw up, and then the younger folk have to take the blame, the fall, like the fallout from this. Anyways, not the point. But still, so basically this every year or every 9 years, it's not really confirmed. 14 people will go into the labyrinth and they will all die, basically as food for the Minotaur, which you would think would be an omnivore, like give it vegetables or something. Don't give it like human people, but whatever. Anyways, so fast forward, this happened on a regular basis. Eventually, Theseus, who is the hero of this story, was like, I had enough. I volunteer as tribute, with the intention to slay the Minotaur, I think. How? I don't know. Now he's one of the 14 to go as sacrifice. But before they all went into the labyrinth, my gosh, I'm gonna butcher this name, Adrini, or Ari for short, who is King Minos' daughter, had like a little crush on him. So, seeing as she didn't want her hot man meat to die, she shared knowledge on the labyrinth and Minotaur, I guess, how to defeat both obstacles. And she also gave him a ball of thread so he could find his way out. Which now I'm realizing, why didn't anyone else do that? Like, you would think that would be like a simple solution. Ball of thread. Just tie it inconspicuously at the entrance. And then once you go in, you just go back out and then you're free. Just live your life as someone else. Change your name to Bernard. But now equipped, Theseus went in and bim bam boom. He slays the Minotaur, gets out, also saves the other people before they become the Minotaur's dinner or lunch. And that's the end of the Minotaur story. But I'm gonna continue a little bit because it's funny. I'm gonna touch on Theseus' ending. So after slaying the Minotaur, everyone celebrated. Theseus went home. He was hailed as a hero and all that. Ari and her sister Pedra followed him just because, if you're pretty privileged, because of pretty privilege. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I can't judge them because I would do the same. I would do the same, but that's not the funny part. On the way back home to Athens, on the way, Theseus dumped Ari on some island because Theseus actually wanted to marry Pedra, who did no shit. I don't know why he dumped Ari on that island, seeing as she was the one who helped him defeat the Minotaur by sharing the knowledge and the ball of thread, which is not much, but it's still something. Like, whatever, anyway. I think I read somewhere it's because Theseus made a deal with Dionysus, who is the god of wine and fertility. And apparently he was like, I want her. So Theseus was like, okay, sure. But that's the end of the story. So now I want to like relook it through a modern lens. Well, not modern lens, but a new perspective, in a sense. Looking at the story, Asterius the Minotaur played a minor part in the story. It's basically the monster of the week in someone else's hero story, and that someone for this story is Theseus. Monsters like him rarely have any personality or conscience. Just blanketed as like monstrous and a plague to humanity, even though they are like actively put away from humanity and society as a whole. Basically, no personality, no humanity, even though he's half man. That's like the Minotaur's entire thing. Half man, half bull, yet no humanity. I know it shouldn't puzzle me, but this is part and parcel of Greek mythology that literal beings can be created as punishment for another human's hubris or bad deeds. Like in this case, the Minotaur's entire existence was because King Minos was like defying Poseidon. Like he turned back on his deal. Like I take sea backsies. King Minos didn't get anything else from it. He still remained king. His people, I assume, still supported him. He didn't die a tragic death or anything, or his kingdom didn't get swallowed up by waves, which you would think Poseidon would do, seeing as he can control the ocean. So let's just imagine, hypothetically, the Minotaur had a conscience and was able to think like one of us, like a human, let's say. And I would think the Minotaur would have this moment of clarity, a moment of realization that his entire existence was just to punish his father. Father in this case is King Minos, not the bull. But if I were the Minotaur, I would be devastated, and I think that aspect of the story can have some overlap with people today. One example I can think of is how they're like accidental births. I mean, you can't accidentally have sex, but oops, YouTube's gonna come for me. But anyways, like accidental babies, like then their parents take it out on them because they didn't use protection or something. They didn't get an abortion, or they couldn't. Texas, I'm looking at you. And I know it's probably not a good comparison. It's not like a complete comparison either. I'm just coming up with this on the fly. But honestly, I would love for someone to make a story, write a story, make a film or something about the Minotaur's perspective. I think that's all I have. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there about the Minotaur that I have been having for the past week. Actually, for the past some time now, when I read the Minotaur story, I think the Minotaur deserves a relook in the way like Medusa has, which it's a good idea for our next episode. I mean, Medusa coming up next. Maybe if I'm hardworking enough. Anyway, what do you guys think of the Minotaur? TLDR. The Minotaur is a sympathetic creature, or can be a sympathetic creature. Anyway, yeah, this is fun. I love talking to myself. And, well, you know what? Thinking out loud. Ed Sheeran. That's it. Alright. Bye.